We've got a couple quarterbacks here to talk about. Actually, we got a hodgepodge of guys, but let's talk about the struggling at Trevor Lawrence, a right shoulder injury. Tom, I'm still waiting for that breakout season for him, man. I'm starting to lose faith a little bit. The Jaguars haven't been very good. Still somehow 8-7, first in the AFC South. But what about Lawrence right shoulder? How can we evaluate him for our finals matchups here?
They've been hot and cold all year, and losing Christian Kirk really hurt them in a
Yeah.
big way. Now, this is Trevor's third straight game with an injury. The high ankle sprain 2 weeks ago, the concussion last week, and now his right throwing shoulder injury. Things are just adding up in a bad way right now. Obviously, his throwing shoulder being injured, that has a potential to impact throw power, throw accuracy, and he didn't practice today, so that tells us that it's not nothing. Sometimes though, when your shoulder gets warmed up, like throwing before the game, warming up before the game, the swelling goes down and you can actually play pretty well. So I'm not entirely ruling Lawrence out for this week, but just adding everything together, the high ankle sprain is not fully healed yet, so that could still be impacting his mobility, his push off, things like that. Um, the concussion should be fine by now, but then now the shoulder as well, plus no Christian Kirk. Their team is kind of backing into the end of the season, really struggling down the road. And he's kind of a fringe QB1, QB2 anyway. So if you have other options, you'll want to consider them. But if he's your guy and you don't really have anyone else, just make sure that he's playing this week. So check in before the game starts. But if he's able to play, I mean, we'll see what he looks like in practice on Friday. That's going to tell the story. So another one that I'll be really keeping a close eye on and tweeting about throughout the week.
Dude, crazy how losing Kirk has crushed them. Like they're almost hard to watch, man. Even ETN has taken major steps back from a fantasy standpoint and just from a production standpoint. This offense has been really, really bad. And I like other options too. Listen, Jags should beat the Panthers this week, but I think it's going to be an ugly, low scoring game. And honestly, man, I'm looking to sit Lawrence anywhere I can. I like Matthew Stafford over him. I like Baker Mayfield over him. I even like Nick Mullins over him. And that might sound absolutely ridiculous and crazy, even with Jordan Addison ailing and DJ Hawkinson out. But I almost can't trust Trevor Lawrence right now with all of these injuries and just with their offense looking so bad. And I just refuse to get beat if I have Trevor Lawrence. I'm not going to put him in my starting lineup because I know he's probably putting up 12, 13, 15 points if you're lucky. So I just don't like it. I don't trust it. I'm 100% looking for better options, especially in the championship week. We are thrilled to be partnering with SeatGeek. Running out of time, everybody, to see some NFL games, but you still do have a couple weeks left. Go see your favorite NFL teams, fantasy stars in action. You could use it for concerts, for basically anything at all on SeatGeek. Use our code INJURYFANTASY for $20 off your purchase, and it works for everything. Once again, SeatGeek INJURYFANTASY is our code.
Okay, and then CJ Stroud, who's missed the last 2 games with his concussion, is trending towards playing. He was limited practice today. Sounds like they're expecting him to clear the protocol.
Quarterback, Tua, thumb and quad. I don't think I could trust him anymore. Got off to a hot start. People talking MVP, but just 12 points per game in his last 3 games, fantasy perspective wise. But thumb, quad, what's bothering him, Tom, and what can we expect here in the championship week?
Apparently both are bothering him, but not too much. He was still able to log a limited practice. That tells me this is a bunch of nothing. Obviously, the thumb is critical for gripping the ball, so if that truly is injured, that could impact accuracy. But if it was really bad, he would have been a DNP on Wednesday versus a limited practice. So I'm not really concerned with this. The quad, that could impact his escapability in the pocket, and if it's his left quad, it could impact his throw power. But again, limited practice tells me it's not that severe. I'm not worried here at all. I'm more worried that his receivers are injured.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. And let's see. I think they play a pretty damn good. They play the Ravens this week. Yeah, they play the Ravens this week. Still a game with a ton of points implied. But I don't know. They go into like championship week. You have a hurt Waddle. You have a slightly banged up Tua, which you said no, it's not bothering him. But they go into Baltimore to play an elite Ravens secondary who's 12-3, looking to be the overall number one seed in the AFC. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a very competitive game, but I don't think I'm trusting Tua here. Obviously, if you have better options, I'm going with it. If you have no one, I'm sure he's going to be fine, brings that floor. But again, like I said, last 3 weeks, struggling a little bit. Tyreek's been in and out of the lineup a little bit. Waddle's hurt. So I really, really don't like Tua, and I'm looking for alternative options this week at the quarterback position.